Welcome to another episode of Israel Tech. I have here the co-founders of AudITech. AudITech, Israel Tech, it's kind of fun to say. We have Edry and we have Roni Beeri. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much for coming here.
Awesome. I wish people can see this view. We would use it in the background, but the sunlight would ruin it. We're at Point by Israel. What floor are we on? 61?
61.
It's the highest floor in Israel.
No.
For now. Yeah.
61, that's it?
61.
Yeah,
No
that's
more
it.
than that.
Kind of disappointing. You would think with all of the retail, with all of the real estate issues, we'd go a little higher. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about kind of what AudITech does, and then I found actually your background very different than most of the people that we've interviewed. I kind of want to go into it. But first, what is AudITech?
Go on.
Ellie, I'm gonna let you make it.
Okay, I'll take that. So AudITech is basically the idea of taking an accounting services that traditionally would be performed manually, would take a lot of time, a lot of effort, would cost a lot of money, and the result were mediocre at best, and to make it techy, technological, automated, with the best IT solution you can have, and actually take it to the level it's supposed to be. So this is like in high level AudITech.
Now, audit doesn't sound sexy. How do you get into it?
I think Roni is looking very sexy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You are what you do for a living, I guess.
Exactly.
Basically, it's the point that audit is not sexy. It's not cyber, it's not, AI, other buzzwords. But it has a real need in the market because every public company does audit.
Right.
They does it manually.
When you say manually, what does that mean? They're like, hey, open all of your books, and then they need to go.
No, open all of your softwares, but
Right.
take screenshots.
Uh-huh.
Sit with the admin. Okay, take me another screenshot. Waste the time. Give me an Excel. I will write the Excel, write that again and again and again. The accounting. Today, accounting, you have a lot of juniors, so they need to give them something to do. So it's hours and hours and hours.
Oh, that's so fascinating. Right.
Yeah.
So I think to summarize, yes, we're not AI, we're not health, we're not cyber, we're not something sexy. But in our field, the problem is really exists.
Right.
Okay? And there is a real need. So
For your industry, it's sexy.
Exactly.
So we're first off, when did you guys find the company? When was this founded?
2 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
So, I mean, it seems like some kind of software product solution to make all of it easier. What took so long for such a service to be established?
We're just in the beginning, and I wouldn't say we established, we just started to launch it.
Right, so what took so long? I feel like this should have been already developed 10 years ago. Not you guys, someone else.
So we are in a field, an industry, which is really, really heavy regulated. Okay, our regulator is not Israel, it's not the US government, it's the SEC. Okay.
It's like the worst.
It's the worst that could happen. And you have standards that the big four accounting firms are adopt and the wide known is spread, and to get in and penetrate to this market and provide a solution in the level that we try to provide them, it's not just technology. It's also to know the game, to know the rules, to be part of the game. And it takes a lot of time because think about it, audit happens once a year. So every year we need to do from beginning. So our jump off on annual basis is our job. Okay? So yes, it takes a lot of time, and this is we're not completely in the game of fundraising for 18 months and then go. It's something much more slower but much more established with long-term vision. Let's say 10 years old now. Okay, let's be. This is how we see it.
So why is the SEC so obnoxious? For the people that don't know, the Security and Exchange Commission, why are they so difficult as regulators?
I don't think they're difficult. I think what they do is very, very important. And the regulation they're having, it's called SOX, S-O-X, Sarbanes-Oxley. Okay, it's here for 20 years. And it's very, very important regulation, but actually the idea of this regulation is extremely smart, and it's something that companies should have. But to actually implement it in the companies, it's completely difficult. Even I would say insane. Okay, and let's give a little bit details to understand it more. What's happened today in the accounting field, what let's say 20 years ago, before SOX regulation, before Sarbanes-Oxley, companies would come, the auditor would come, show, okay, I have 1 million USD revenue in the balance sheet or in the profit and loss. Then, this is more accurate, let's be accountant. I have $1 million, please give me all the invoices, the match, they have 1 million, amazing. But then what happened? Enron collapsed. And Anderson collapsed, and companies reported on financial statement, but it was rubbish.
Right.
Right.
So I mean, the
what
SEC is not doing that good of a job, are they?
Okay, so what source come and say, I don't care you put $1 million USD, show me all the way through this million to this $1 million in the profit and loss report is correct. And this is a game changer because now you're not coming to check.
When did this happen?
the
After
reporting.
2008? When was this introduced?
2000.
In 2000. Oh, so before.
Before,
Right.
it's even before 2008. It's even before. So the idea is the auditor is now responsible to audit the customers, his customer, the public companies, on the process of the financial reporting as well.
Right.
And for this, we put what we call internal controls.
Right.
This changed the industry of accounting completely, okay? Because there are accountants like me that know to do internal control, and this is what they know to do. We don't do taxes, we don't do other stuff. We know to do internal controls. But this whole world is completely manual. It's customized per customer. It takes a lot of time every year, and it's difficult to actually put something valuable and to show to the SEC how a process is working like it's supposed to do. Okay? And this is why it's difficult to automate. This is why no one got into this area, because it's difficult. Okay? It's not the same for everyone, and this is why it's very customized. But this is what exactly we're changing. Okay? So we took one niche from this world, which is the IT audit, which is significant. And as we move with the year, it's much more significant because everything today is IT. And what we make sure, we test everything regarding the control that's related to IT. It could go to 50% of this audit easily. And this is what we test, and this is what we automate, and this is what we provide, and we increase the standard and reduce the time to take them. So just a win-win for everyone.
So what stopped, and I'm assuming it's much cheaper too, since it's largely automated, right?
Absolutely.
And what do the regulators think about what you're doing?
So here in Israel, we got grant and funding from the Israeli SEC, from the Israeli stock, from the Israeli security agency.
Right.
Okay? So we got funding from them because they believe in this cause.
That's so funny. I just can't imagine like the American, like the SEC just like doing that. They're just funded, right? It's like they're always trying to shake you down. What a different cultural difference.
Yes and no, because I just read an article of the PCOB. PCOB is the accounting, okay, that the accountants, the CPAs in the US, put their own regulator on themselves to maintain higher standards.
What, GAAP?
No, not
GAAP. The AAC.
They call PCAOB. This is like the...
What is it? Say it again?
PCAOB.
What does that stand for?
So...
Something accounting.
Yeah, something accounting. And this is the body, the regulator. It's like internal regulator instead of...
Right.
Okay, so the auditors test themselves to make sure they're in higher standards, and then the SEC can be... Okay? So from one hand, it's like it's like very tricky, because from one hand, they want to provide better audit, the customer, the auditors, everyone, the SEC, but from other hand, it's very difficult to document it and show the evidence, because I heard one CFO say...
Wait, why is it so hard to document and show the evidence?
This is exactly what Roni earlier said.
Okay? Because you need to take every screenshot. You need every IT admin.
But they were doing this before, right? But let me ask you, with the SEC, when would they check? Okay, when the SEC or some other organization wants to, maybe because you want to acquire it, you want to audit this information. Historically, would they actually go through all these screenshots and everything?
Of course.
Really? Everything?
Not the SEC, but the auditors themselves.
The auditors.
Of course.
Holy crap!
And
Got it. So you're saving.
So you do it every year.
So you're saving the time and the money, the resources of the company that has to prepare it, and then you're also saving the time, the money, the resources of the regulators and the auditors. They need to go and review it.
And there's another.
And so there's transparency.
Another player in the.
And we increase the quality.
Right.
Okay.
The quality, the transparency, the speed, the availability,
and I give
access.
you like an example. Okay, one of the things we do, auditors, they test samples. Okay, for example, if you have some user that left the company, you can't test 5, 10. But if the corporate has 1,000, so it's test only 10, and if those 10 are okay.
Right, it's an example, right?
we don't use this approach. So this is like an earthquake in our profession.
Right.
We test everything.
Wow.
Because it's a computer.
Right, it's easy. You just run it.
It's easy, exactly.
So,
So
what
it's
are the inputs? Like, what do they look for? Like, I want to know, like, what are they asking the software, the solution that you provide? What are they asking? Or do you automatically provide, the top 50 most interesting or relevant reports automatically for them?
So we got into the standard of the accounting. We don't come and change
You don't
the
like
purpose. The purpose is right.
right.
The
Okay.
goal is right. The goal is
Just
to
do it
show all IT systems for the companies are legible, are valid, are supposed to be, okay? And we go with the same audit purpose. We don't change anything. We don't bring new approach in this sense. The way we do the audit, this is what we change. And this, by the way, is our tagline, the way audit is done. We change this approach and we go and we aim for much quality. We reduce effort because we leverage technology to provide it to our customers. This is the idea.
So you're disrupting and saving so much time, man hours, everything. Who's opposing this? Usually whenever there's change or disruptor, there's always someone old school trying to
Of course.
trip you up.
So
Who are these
before
people?
that, you forgot to mention, like, okay, we save money, but this is not the main point, because sometimes to automate also costs money. But the
Right.
main point is we reduce the risk completely.
Right.
Okay, CEO and CFO sign by themselves, not behind the corporate,
Right.
about the effectiveness of
Right.
their internal control every year. And they rely on a sample that someone did. And maybe it's working, maybe not. Now it's like an extra on the organization
Right.
and providing. And this is like, how much do you pay for eliminating risk in your organization?
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because even though it even points
exactly.
to 0.1%, it could be potentially catastrophic.
Mhm.
You can't cover that.
Exactly.
Fascinating.
And now let's go for a question. So the answer is clear, everyone.
Mhm.
Everyone.
Everyone
Because
hates you.
Everyone hates us.
It's because you're Jewish.
So it's like, I would say it's look like this way. Okay. So everyone say they want it.
Right.
Everybody agree the direction. Everybody say it's correct, including the PCOB. But in the same time, everybody afraid to do it and to adapt it. Because there is a
Why?
standard.
Because people are used to the
People
old.
are used to it. You
Right.
pay taxes. Why? Because you're used to it.
Right.
And this is how things have
Now
been
you're
done.
speaking my language.
Exactly. and it's disruptive. So in this sense, it's very challenging. And
Right.
one of our main challenges in AudITech is to work with those forces, not against those forces.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and we're working with them, with each one of them.
You couldn't do it. Do you think if you were to come and disrupt it in a way that you didn't feel like that you were a partner, they wouldn't even let you move?
Exactly.
No.
You have no choice
No.
because it's so established.
Exactly.
See, it's fascinating because there's tech, I mean, not just in Israel, also in America, whatever, is that as a new industry, it's not, there's minimal regulation,
Exactly.
which is terrific. However, you're taking an old industry that is over-regulated
Exactly.
and you're using tech, right, to keep an old industry. That industry is not going away,
No.
but you're introducing technology to not just help a regulated industry, the regulation within the regulated industry.
Exactly. We are like, in some sense, like the government should create us.
Right. Yeah, ideally,
In
right.
some sense.
Right.
Okay, the public that enjoying those reports should create us. So this is what happens. So we're disrupting, but from the inside, not from the outside.
Right.
We're not coming and throwing the old and saying,
Right, because they won't let you in.
they won't let us.
Yeah.
Right.
We're working together with them, with cooperation, with partnership.
It's like how the government thinks about Bitcoin. It's like,
Exactly.
they don't want it. All right.
Exactly.
Which is why they're doing
So
their
this
own.
is our approach. This is why it takes time, because we go with the flow and not against it. But this is also why we're winning.
You're moving along with the regulations. You know, you're kind of like part of the solution. So you're a disruptor and then within it. So how much of your disruption leads your growth? How much of the part that people see you as partners in your industry leads to your growth?
I think that in the beginning, we thought that we need to work against the,
Right.
The forces, the big four.
Uh-huh.
But moving forward, we understand that we need to work with them, to partnership with them, along them.
Because you tried to disrupt and you're like, this isn't going anywhere.
Kind of,
What was that moment? When did you? What happened, or what things happened that you just felt like you weren't making progress when you were trying to be an outside disruptor?
basically, we are a small startup trying to play in the field of the biggest companies in the world. So, and within the regulation and everything else. So, honestly, it's a dead end. And then we understand that we need to go along with them in partnership with them and explain them and show them what we actually do. So we start a partnership on some of the customers, did some POCs, and from one to another they understand, okay, they have something. And now I think we are like 50% of our work is partnership with the Big Four, and 50% we work within companies without any relationship to the Big Four, but with a relationship, because every company we are in it, one of the Big Four is also there.
Right.
Because they are the auditor.
Right.
So today we are in a place that we are, put the regulation for how to accept AudITech.
So you're talking. So a lot of partnerships going on. What partnerships kind of helped you with funding or whatnot to help you kind of get AudITech off the ground?
So I think the partnership is less relevant to our funding. The funding came from our investors. But the partnership actually let us allow us to validate the business itself.
Right.
Okay, because eventually when we partner, we do business together, even if it's like straight with them or via the customer, things are moving, revenue is generated, and AudITech is something that actually happened in here. So in this sense, the partners are very, very important, okay? We work with them, we create together with them the procedure, how to rely on AudITech. It's like crazy in our world, okay? How to use technology for audit purposes, and they help us do it. So in this sense, we're like very in this ecosystem of accounting, CPA, Big Four. So in this sense, they are going with us in the sense of leveraging technology in our customers.
Amazing. So who are these partners? Who are these people that
All
work
of
with?
them. All of them. We have small and medium firms. We have the Big Four accounting firms.
Right. Okay.
We work with everyone.
You were telling me off camera that you were working with Mamram or something. What is that?
Yes. So in one of our point, we were part of the Mamram alumni program. We are very fortunate.
What is Mamram?
What is Mamram? Mamram
Yeah,
is like the IT unit of the IDF.
The IT unit.
Yeah. So and we're like dealing with IT, so it makes a lot of sense. So in this sense, they were very helpful for us. They were mentoring us, introduction to people, everything that small startup need in the beginning. So Mamram.
Did you do IT in the army?
No, actually.
What'd you do?
So I used to serve in the submarine in 82 as well, which is the intelligence unit.
And I was an officer in the combat engineering. So no IT, just bombs.
No IT. That's hilarious. And well, first of all, what's it like to be in a submarine? How did you go from submarine? Is the submarine related to the intelligence?
Yes.
Because you did one after the other.
So I prefer not to talk about it too much in front of the camera, but like.
What part? The submarine or the intelligence? I'm not going to push you. Both of it.
Both of it, but we can talk about the ecosystem of the submarine.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Okay.
But not exactly what we did, but yes, it's related clearly.
Yeah, I'll be honest. We interviewed I won't say who from whoever that was pretty successful in one at the time. He's like, I can't talk about it, and I just asked a little bit more, and later he's like, it's really inappropriate. So like push. I'm like, I didn't know. Sorry, but his brothers were pushy until they got pushed. That's sweet guy. What's it like working in a submarine?
Wow, it was I think one of the best experiences I had in my life.
I don't know what you can answer. Can I ask questions? You can just say no.
Yes.
How long are you in a submarine and would you go and come back?
As much as needed.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
How many people are in the submarine?
As much as needed.
Or the opposite, as little as possible, right?
Yes.
In a sense. And then the intelligence was correlated with the submarine. Did it lead to the Shmonim time? Because most people that we've interviewed Shmonim time have no connection to the Navy or the field or combat or anything.
So I grew from the Navy.
You
I grew from the Navy, and only then I went to the Shmonim time. So for me, in terms of connection and experience and knowing people, it was crucial and super important. And I was very fortunate and lucky to have the best people from the submarine, the best people from 82 in my life. And together after that, it's like every cornerstone in my life.
It's amazing how that happens when you look back, right? And
got it together.
This is one of the themes.
This is one of the things.
So first off, what attracted you to work in it, to go work in a submarine? It doesn't sound like the most
Wow, it was a training of a year and a half.
No, but like, what made you decide, or why were you recruited? How does that just kind of? I know it's kind of a topic.
So
but
it's like
I think when you are 18, before you go to the army, you don't know a lot.
yeah, that's
And
why.
they go, okay, come to the submarine. I think you have a bush, and then okay, I'm
And
going.
you're like, this is cool. I'm underwater for a while. These people are cool. You make
Yeah.
you probably have close of friends you can make anything in the army. I would think it's probably submarine, right?
Yeah.
Is there any
it's
other?
very Israeli, no?
Well, I mean, every
To
army,
get to this
every navy
unit.
has a submarine.
Yes. Not every navy has a
but-
submarine.
Okay, fine. And any
Any
okay.
big navy has
Sig-
a submarine.
Did you say Israel has a big navy?
Hmm?
Did you say Israel has a big navy?
No, very small.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, okay. Yeah, submarines are the future. Well, I'm not going to get into that. It's a whole other thing. I'll find the right person that can tell us more about that. So then you went to Shimon at a time, 8200 intelligence unit from there. Wait, so how long were you serving in submarine in the Navy? How long?
So I served 5 years like in the mandatory service, and I would say until age 30, like reserve service. I used to come once a week or something.
Right.
And
Once a week you went in.
once a week.
Wait, what do
Wasn't
you do when you go back once a week?
I did what it's supposed to do. A lot of help to the system actually.
But it wouldn't just make more sense to just, I'm just thinking economically, to just hire you full time. Because like once a week,
Maybe,
where's
yes.
because it's pulling you away from your work
Yes,
once a
but my
week.
life were in different direction. You know, I was after 5 years. I was in a point in my life. I didn't decide if I move with the military and stay for a career in the military or go to do business. And eventually, I understand that my dream was to be a businessman and not a career in the military. So I pushed this way and moved. But I was always have a warm place in the military. The people are the best in the world.
Yeah.
I had a great time of my life. So I was very pleased and happy to contribute more.
Got
I
it.
got many new friends in that. I got many projects I did and done that provided me a lot of good sense of what I'm capable of. And so for me, like the service in some sense kept until the age of 30. So.
Right. And and you were doing engineering, what did you say?
Combat engineering.
Combat engineering.
Yeah.
So that's basically any engineering having to do actually in combat. So what does that mean?
I mean, combat engineering is all the mines, the bombs.
That's what I thought.
Even bridges. So.
Right.
But during my military service, I did like every other field soldier. I don't know how to say it in English.
Yeah, like everyone else.
Yeah,
Cool.
like everyone else. Exactly.
Okay, so then after you guys left and you didn't know each other then.
No.
No.
And then how did you so neither of you really did anything with IT or regulation audit.
I did.
So okay, but you can't talk about it.
But I can talk.
That's fine. Okay, so how do we get here? Like, or I know there's a gap. Where did you guys meet? How did you walk us through from the army to here?
So I left army. I was 23. A year after that, I found myself in KPMG.
I love how you found yourself.
I found myself in
They came from
KPMG.
You know, I interviewed there.
You interviewed there.
After my MBA in 2009. I was living in Yerushalayim, and it was like I was newlywed. So it was 13 years ago, and I had to go to the Tachana Merkazi, take a bus to the Tachana Merkazi, Tel Aviv, and then I would do it just all the way by the beach, right? And then
No, this is PwC by the way.
no wait, who's Cooper? What's
PwC.
PwC.
Oh, okay, never mind. I interviewed at PwC. Okay,
Yeah.
So my teacher for my MBA was from KPMG. And I was like, this is 2.5 hours door to door. And I was like, how much do you pay? And it was like 5,500 shekels, like minimum wage. And I was like, well, where's the career in finance? And I was like, man, there's such an opportunity for Israel to become a financial hub. And I think it's, especially with just New York and London, they've gone very like socialist in a sense.
Yes.
There's such an opportunity to become a financial hub, but whatever. So you went to KPMG. And then you ended up at PwC?
Yes, I spent 5 years in KPMG, and this is where I learned the IT audit.
Right.
I did other stuff, but this is where I learned IT, finance, accounting. I did it in parallel to my school.
So, but you use your IT experience from the army, no accounting experience to get the job at KPMG.
And the accounting experience I got on the way while I was studying. And together...
Oh, at school?
At school, at university.
Hebrew University? Hebrew
And,
University.
yes, and I did the same route every day, and back then there was no Zoom, video conference, anything while I was a student. It was brutal, but it allowed me to grow up really fast.
Right. Which you
to
doing
catch
the
up
bus?
everything. Something bus, something on a TV.
This is like before the internet, right?
Yes.
Before the train.
That's what I'm saying.
Before
I
the
remember.
train, before everything.
I would carry. I remember I had like I had a physical Hebrew English dictionary I carried with me.
It was hectic. But I was young. I had
Yeah. You know, when you're young, you don't care. You walk
I don't
hours.
care.
Yeah.
Exactly, and this like allowed me.
You even work in a submarine.
Submarine, yes. It was much difficult.
Yeah.
Than that. So yes, so this allowed me to gain a lot of professional, because most of my guys, my teammates, just started to do their internship after they finished school.
Right.
So after when my teammates from the class started, I already been with 5 years of experience.
Wow.
And then I moved to PwC. I had a big opportunity over there.
What did you do over at PwC? What did they recruit you for?
And at KPMG, I did more like consulting, IT advisory, helping with implementing IT system and so on. Much more varied, much more, I would say, much more changing between customer to customer, all kinds of experiences I had. And then at PwC, they called me, okay, we need the team leader for IT-audit.
Mm.
So you got your own team, some employees, and I started to learn this profession deeply. And this is the point where I understand there is a problem to solve. And this is where also I met Roni. So maybe
At PwC, okay.
PwC.
So how did you get to PwC, or how did you get from the Army to PwC?
Well, I studied industrial engineering. Then
At Hebrew University in Jerusalem also?
no, in Shinkar.
Where's that?
Shinkar, near Tel Aviv.
Okay.
Yeah,
For the audience.
of course. So Shinkar is a college in Tel Aviv. Then in my study, I met the IT
Mhm.
and a bit of coding. And I understand this is something that interesting me, how to improve things in life using software.
Uh-huh.
And my first job was in Intel, and then I went to work with a freelancer implementing CRM software.
Mm-hmm.
After 3 years there, I moved to PwC,
Mm-hmm.
to a group called IT Consulting.
Mm-hmm.
So I consulted companies, small, large, corporates, on their IT software, on the processes with using our software. And my group and Eli's group is kind of working in parallel. So I met there Eli, like a funny story.
Any funny stories
Yeah,
about
no,
Eli? I'm interested.
the real meet with Eli was because I had an employee that I wanted to fire, but in PwC in corporate, it's very hard to fire someone.
Yeah, talk about regulations.
Yeah. So it's very hard to fire someone. You need, okay, did you speak with him? Did you give him another chance? And then someone said, okay, Eli's team needs hands. So let's try to move this employee to Eli. And
These are like the employees you're helping replace in the industry. Just the extra hands.
Back then, we were the industry.
Wait, now who does? If this person watch this interview, would they know it is him or her?
I don't know.
Maybe one.
You should send this person a
Maybe.
thank you.
Yes, we should tell him the thank you.
Right? This person's like, this is like God sent. This
Yes.
person's incompetence.
Yes, and then I think we spoke at 8 or 9 in the morning, and by noon, Eli called me, listen, it's not working.
It's like, I don't know, it's your problem now. Hang up.
Yeah. And back then we met. After I think a few months later, Eli left PwC.
Uh-huh.
And
Because of that guy. That is probably the most unique story about two founders met. It's always far more like networking or this and that.
No.
But in a way, like it's networking in the classic sense, we were working together and all of that.
Work together.
But it's not like the stereotypical tech thing.
No.
That's
so disturbing.
That's really funny.
Not from time, not from the military.
Or not for this, or
from a
using
startup.
that, or through a connection, or through a VC, or anything like that. But it's because through
Exactly.
an
We're
employee that
colleagues.
sucked.
Yeah, we're colleagues in PwC and had a mutual employee, and this is it.
So you moved on
And I moved on.
to
Founded AudITech.
and you're still at PwC.
And he was still
Yes.
at PwC.
Got it. He came on as a co-founder after this. Okay, cool. So you started AudITech. You were still at PwC. what made you decide to found it? Obviously, we were talking about obviously what you saw, but was there like a moment where you were like, God, this is so bad that I need to fix this?
2 years moment.
It was just 2 years of just dread.
Yes. And I moved and I tried to do stuff in the system and it didn't work because of the system. And eventually I had the opportunity with my current investor. I decided to fix it, to change it, and
Wait, how did you
create
meet your current investor?
by a friend from the submarine.
From the submarines.
Yeah.
Okay, so the army always comes back.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And he said me, Eli, you need to go speak with this person.
Wait. This was a friend you're always in touch with, and you were just updating on
So
life.
we slept actually together 7 months in the same bunk in while training for the submarine. So we were like pretty good friends. And he knew my industry because he also is CPA. And he told me, Eli, you need to go to speak with this person, this investor looking to solve problems in the compliance industry. Perfect. I met him and we decided after 1.5 hour conversation, it was very lovely. We fell in love in each other and we decided this is the time to leave everything and start. And a week after that, I met with this board. It was the middle of COVID, so it was in Zoom. They approve it and we start the project of AudITech.
Amazing. And then, okay, so you were like, okay, let's solve this issue.
Yes.
What was the first thing you did? Like, at what point did you know, like, you were making progress, or as opposed to, because so many people start here, they go, they get maybe a little seed, and then it doesn't go anywhere, right? How does that happen?
So I think what I did, I don't think I did differently, but I think this is what the right way to do it. Maybe not the only right, but one of the right way to do it. So I said, okay, I know I have a big problem. I know the problem very well. I lived it. I don't need to interview anyone else to understand there is a problem. But it's not mean I know how to solve it. I definitely don't know how to solve it.
I love this. Wait, you didn't know how to solve it.
No.
You knew that there was a problem.
I knew there was a problem.
So you started a company without a solution.
Exactly.
You started with a problem.
Yes.
And no solution.
No solution. I had like, okay, I know where it's supposed to be. And
right.
The problem is supposed to be like a click of a button.
Right. So we just run.
Yes.
And then it spits it out
like,
for you.
Exactly. And I know there's like 10,000 problems to mitigate.
Right.
Okay.
How do you start? Where do you start?
Actually, it's very easy. The first obvious step. And you know what's the first obvious step? To get customers.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how do you get a customer if you don't have the product?
I'm from the industry, right?
Okay.
So I went and I made a long list of all the possible customers in Israel that can use it, public companies. I went one by one. And then I started to interview them. But
wait, how did you get introduced? Were you like, cause I worked at PwC? Was it a partner?
If I knew them, it was easy. But I spoke with 100 companies.
Right.
I haven't know any one of them. So this is the startup work. This is the founder work.
It's the grind.
This is to be in the trenches. This is the actual work. And you go and speak with each one of them and ask them how they imagine the solution, what they would like to have. And then you develop from conversation. In the beginning, you just come to the conversation. And I remember like the last conversation I had like to design the idea, I actually had a small MVP and still not engineer, right? But like something ran on the screen, a little bit more than a slideshow. And I said, okay, if we do this and this, and then I got the reaction. And if it's smiling, okay, let's go. And I think it took us almost a year to write the first codes of like lines of codes, maybe around 9 months. And it was very challenging to hire the right engineers. It took us a lot of time. And then we write the code. But when we wrote the code, we actually know what we need to solve, how to solve it. We had a really good MVP approach. And yes, so this was the beginning.
You were saying that you got a grant from something from the IT department in the Army?
Me?
Yeah.
No, the grant is from the Israeli Security Authority.
Oh, the securities, not security.
Yes, security. Okay. Also security.
Yeah. I don't want people to think like security, like cybersecurity.
No, not cybersecurity.
Like the SEC security.
Like the SEC, the Israeli SEC. Yeah. So they actually, they have like, they fund, startup companies in the area.
Do other countries have their SEC fund or no? I feel like they would. I don't think they would because they would see it as like playing favorites or potential to be corrupt, which is ironic.
I'm not so sure, but like eventually what we did, we pitched our idea to them, we explained them. It was a long process, but not too long. pretty fair. And we didn't ask for a lot of money, but we wanted like,
How much did you ask for?
we asked for. So we wanted the recognition of what we do. And we got it. And they say, okay guys, we are the regulator, we understand what you're doing, it's important, good luck. And they give us something in their name and the brand on it.
That's pretty awesome, because if I can ever think of all the interviews I've done, of the ultimate stamp of approval with the check, or the network and the connections, and they've had other successful startups, is the fact that your regulator body,
Exactly.
who's saying, I'm coming here to make regulation better and easier and faster, is giving you money.
Exactly.
Was that like your main selling point for you to be able, was that a primary selling point for you to be able to go ahead and put this in front of prospects?
Absolutely. I mean, prospect, if we had it, okay, when we came to the Israel Security Authority, we already had like several customers, around 15, 20 and we have big contracts. And if we didn't have it, they wouldn't put their money in.
Right.
Because it's not good enough to have an idea, you should show execution.
I agree.
So at this point, we had enough execution and good enough idea, so they will support us. So both of these factors tell them, okay, let's go and do it with AudITech.
Amazing.
Yes.
And so at what point did this young man, Mr. Beeri, when did you come along?
Almost 2 years ago, at the beginning of 2021.
Was there only Ellie at the company then?
No. That's all.
Maybe I will start how I will
on,
start.
yeah.
Okay, so at some point we had few customers, we had a product, but we didn't know how to implement it. And then I remember that I had my friend, my colleague from PwC, Roni, that this is what he do for his living.
Implement things.
Exactly. So we had a job description of system implementer, AudITech system implementer, and we reached out with Roni. And I think the first time he refused.
Yeah. Why'd you refuse?
I think at the beginning it was
It was a little bit different spec.
It was different, and I think it was a smaller. What I need to do, just implement something, and I thought I need to do something bigger. And then we decided to speak a few months from now. Okay, let's see if something will come up.
We'll circle back.
Yeah, no one.
So what changed that made you change your mind?
I think first of all, on my private life or my private thinking about the job that I want to do. I understand that what I did in PwC, I get to a certain, top or something that, okay, I did it, I love it, it's enough. And I want to search for my next adventure. And then Eli called me again. Listen, I have another job description. What do you think? I will send it to you, and let's.
You should have sent him that employee that connected you guys.
And he sent it to me, and I said, okay, this is something that I think much more for me. And I thought, okay, I will say, Eli, okay, come on, and he will say, okay, come on. He sent me a home assignment.
Oh yeah, what was it?
Of course, everyone they can do.
Wait, what was the home assignment? I want to hear from you. What was the home assignment?
The home assignment was to plan and implementing process of AudITech. And then I thought on everything that I learned and want to do, and I didn't know what AudITech especially do, but I know about IT, I know about companies, I know about implementing software. So I did the home assignment, sent it back, I think, at the last minute that I had, because you know how it's like, we have, okay, send it by Tuesday, I will send it on Wednesday, and something comes up every time that you want. Always you want to do something. But then we spoke about the home assignment, about AudITech, about how I see me within AudITech, how Eli see me or AudITech growth, and we decided to.
Amazing. So tell me about a little bit about your actual clients and kind of how did you? Are you doing all the sales? I assume, since you were the original founder.
The whole team, but yes, me as well.
Do you bring the whole team on for a sales call?
No, but everyone.
No, I know
is
what you mean.
doing
I mean, the
sales
few
in-
people on.
Yes.
Yeah. How much do you lead? Do you have any American clients?
Yes.
How do you able to get? That's one of the hardest things for companies getting
Mhm.
started, Israeli tech companies, is how they enter the American market, especially when it's an old industry and they have their own SEC and their own regulations and all of that. So in a sense, did your product have to adapt for the American market, change a little bit?
Okay, so regarding the product itself, we're lucky that the regulation that the Israeli company used is like
Base.
Israeli companies trading in the US.
Right.
From the beginning,
It was already like
it was already.
it was already
And the Israeli regulated was copy paste from the American regulated. They just add I to the SOX.
perfect.
Which
It's
is
like
iSOX.
F16i.
Exactly the same thing. So for us, from the beginning, it was developed to the American market, okay, in this sense, and it was perfectly fit to the Israeli market as well. It's not like taxes
Right.
in this sense. So in this sense, we didn't have a problem, but of course, it's a completely different culture, completely different people. I'm not from the industry, like I'm from the Israeli industry, which is not the same.
Right.
And
Did they look down on that? Did they find that to be strange?
so what?
The
I'm
fact
from
that,
the
like,
industry?
look, it's like, hey, I'm being regulated from their perspective, right? And I'm American originally. I'm like, okay, I'm being regulated by the SEC.
Mhm.
All I know is America, because America is so large and so disconnected from the rest of the world geographically and time zones. And then here's some startup from the other side of the world
Mhm.
is going to help me with my regulation. You're not part of my culture. You didn't have to deal with the SEC the way they see it their entire life. Like, why am I talking to you?
Great question. It's happening to us all the time. But eventually, okay, let's take some of our Israeli customers, which are tech publicly traded customers,
Like?
our customer, public companies.
Can you say who they are? You allowed to say?
Yes, of course, they're on the website.
Okay.
And they were like our design partners, companies like Fiverr and Perion. They're
Mhm.
huge, they're
Right,
enormous.
yeah. Experience usually,
Okay.
yeah.
So company like Perion that I don't know what, like 6 subsidiary recently.
Right.
Okay? And then you go to American company in the same industry and you tell them you work with Perion, they're like, okay. So you pass.
Right.
So
Right.
it's all through our customers. And yes, we have this challenge. And if I knew how to
Oh, that's-
figure this out, we probably
that's
wouldn't sit
so
here. We would
brilliant.
sit here with in bigger office with much more employees, but we still figuring this out and we
Yeah,
are
but
on the
this view.
journey. We are on the journey. Yes. But
So, no, it's so fascinating because there's a learning lesson here.
Mhm.
Is that, like, if you're an Israeli tech company getting started, and obviously you want to be able to penetrate the European or the American markets, which are much larger, working with Israeli companies that are already basically established
Mhm.
there, as far as any American's concerned, they assume they're one would assume they're
Mhm.
an American company, and Payoneer is an American company as far as
Exactly.
in fact they don't know that it's Israeli. So that's actually an easy way to get the client and let them think that you're already working with a colleague of theirs.
correct.
So it's a smart, it's an easy in.
So there is a very traditional, okay, I met with a lot of VCs and one of them told me, Eli, how much revenue do you have? X. And he told me how many of them were from American customer and back then we didn't have. So he told me, you have 0. And I told him, okay. And this is okay, I got it. Probably it won't be fit for you. So the approach, at least with me and my investor and our strategy, is first establish in Israel, where we are strong, we have connection, where we can actually deliver, where we can, the product is not perfectly done from the first day. We ran with the market as fast as we could and we improve it daily, okay? It's not perfect, we also fix it and improve it and improve it. It's a never ending cycle. But if we do it with an Israeli customer that knows your language, can speak with you, tell him, "Achi,
Yeah, this is what amazing.
few minutes will be sorted out." It's much easier to grow into get to the point that you can go to the American market and to be good enough. Without guessing, with working, bring huge product, and then you guess it's fit. So we're not guessing, we're actually working and customer come to us. And this is the idea.
If an Israeli founder would, let's say in the industry, would come to you and ask you for advice, hey, I'm just building this thing up, I want to get into the American market, obviously, what advice would you give them?
I don't think I'm an expert for that. Maybe ask me in a few years and I will be
Ah,
after
come
a
on,
lesson.
throw something out there.
But I think eventually, business talk.
Right, just get customers, then
customers and
Customers.
and serve them so they will be happy and focus on delivery and make them happy. And this is how business is done. Nobody cares how the product is look like maybe someone, but usually it's not so important. Nobody cares about lots of stuff that people think they care. People care about business, and if you bring business to the table, the rest will be sorted out.
Right.
So this is what me, Roni, and the whole team believes in. And
Amazing.
And we are here for the customer. One of like our agenda is the customer is the king. We want the customers to be happy, and to be satisfied with AudITech.
So we do everything that they will be satisfied, even if the product, doesn't do exactly what they want to do. So we do it. Eventually, we do it.
What do you mean? You just give me an example. I didn't really understand.
Yeah,
Let's take TDH. Like we close one scope.
we closed one scope, and the sales and Eli came to me. Okay, we sign an American company. This is the scope, and okay, let's go. And I think 2 weeks after we start the project, the scope doubled itself or tripled itself, and not for everything we had a solution, but we managed to find a solution.
Wait, did you already say, oh yeah, well I can do it, and then you're like, fuck, let me go find out how to do it?
No.
You can't, that doesn't work with Americans.
No, it doesn't work with
In the
no one.
industry,
We don't work
no.
this way.
Right.
If we don't know how to do it, we say we don't know how to do it.
So, but then, so my question is, the reason why I asked then, if you say you don't know how to do it, is there's no one else they assume can do it because no one else had the software, the solution, the infrastructure in the organization to do
Yeah,
it.
the thing is that we need to tweak some things to make it work as they expect it to do. To solve the scope that eventually grow. But at the end, we are by the end of the month, by the end of the year. Now the audit need to finish.
Yeah.
And the customer is happy.
That's awesome. Now, does this mean now you have another scope that you now then go and now try to sell to other clients or to new prospects? It's like you have more tools in your toolbox.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes.
I love that opportunity. I love how businesses
So
to
we
other
grow
opportunities,
from
other
customer to
people.
customers.
So each customer always brings on something a little bit different, and that makes you
Exactly.
improve.
More
And then
than
you
a
can-
little bit.
Okay, more a little bit.
Yeah, and then we have another client that was happy about the product and said, okay, next year I want another feature. I want give me a quote for this feature.
Do you mean like what kind of features are they looking for? Just to be able to pull up reports and certain areas?
Yes, so there are like many problems in this regulation.
But this is for them. Is this for to help the regulators, or is this for them internally?
Internally,
Internally, right? Because it's unique.
But
they're
they need
unique
it for the
questions.
regulation.
Say it again.
Okay, they need it for the regulation.
For-
they need it for the completeness and accuracy of the financial statements. They need
And it's unique to their
it's
business.
unique to their businesses.
Got it. So therefore, it needs to be reported, or the data needs to
Exactly.
be pulled in a certain way
So-
that's unique to them.
We today solve like this scope, and the world is like this.
Amazing.
So every time we a little bit more, very carefully, we always say, okay, we're very transparent about what we can,
Yeah. It's
what
better,
we
yeah.
cannot do. And sometimes we say we cannot do, but we need to do it.
Right.
Okay, it's also fine, but very transparent on that. And we also commit to deliver, no matter what. If
So
it
that was
will
my
be
next
looking
question.
This way, it will look.
Well, Israeli tech delivers
that way,
no matter what.
Exactly.
But
we deliver.
do you ever worry that something's out of your scope and you come and say, "Hey guys, like I can't give you money. We tried and we don't think we can do it, or we'll need more time," or do you run into those because there's like a blue ocean? You're kind of going out there not exactly sure how to do it. So do you run into those challenges every so often?
Every day.
Every day.
But no, I think you should be transparent with your client.
Of course, they'll know.
Yeah.
They're not like
Exactly.
you can't get away with it.
Of course, and we are very transparent with our client. And as Eli said, if we don't know how to do something, we tell them we don't know how to do, but we solve it.
Right.
And by the end of the project, or by the end of the no matter what, we solve the problem.
Awesome. So as you continue to serve more customers and expand, is there anything new you plan on doing this coming year? Like how do you are you expanding your products? Or are you kind of letting your client lead you to expansion?
Both. I think the product will be expanded.
Right. So what are you looking? How are you looking to expand? Are you expanding maybe in other industries outside, like in other markets too, or where are you looking to take it?
No. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to stay in our world of Sarbanes-Oxley, this IT regulation, but we're going to get to more spaces that we today, like mini spaces, micro
What do you mean?
spaces.
Give me an example. Just what do you mean by microspaces?
Okay, so for example, you have Okay, you have one solution that checks all the users in the organization. Okay, you deliver it. There's another solution that checks if you have conflict between of those users. It's still not there. Customer asked them to do it. Okay, for example, next year we're going to meet with a lot of systems that we never met before, and we're going to implement it for them as well.
Amazing.
And challenges we have. This is one way. The second thing we're going to do, we're going to grow a team, of course. We're going to do much more sales and marketing. Up until now, it was more like founder sales lead.
Right.
And work really hard for sales. So we want to try to make it more a machine and deliver more quickly, because we deliver today very quick, and to do it more quickly, effortless, which today it's not the case. Today we invest in every customer a lot of work. So this is the second thing we want to do. And of course, expand in Israel and the US as much as possible, and get more customers and serve them better. So the idea is not just go big, it's go better.
You go better and deeper
Go better
with your
and
current
deeper.
clients.
Yes.
Got it. So
Because-
do you think your main growth is actually being able to do more for current clients?
Absolutely. So I think, if I would say up until 2021, the only idea of how to make a lot of money, it was, okay, let's take a huge problem, HR, finance, accounting, that fits to the whole world, and you have a huge TAM, and then you take a small piece and you get rich of it. Today, people a little bit understand that it's not so easy, because you have tons of competition, indirect, direct, and so on. It's very hard to do it. Not everyone is Monday.com that have your to-do list and everyone takes it, okay? But the contrary, you have, okay, those smaller TAMs like we have. It's much more smaller TAM, but you can take a bigger piece from the TAM, and you can bring a lot of value to each of your customers and get more from those customers. So this is the idea, to serve them more, to get out of them more, and to grow in depth. And I think this is at least our business strategy, and I think it's something that is much more appealing these days.
Amazing.
In,
Awesome.
in the industry of ecosystem of startup. Okay, see customers, like companies that actually deliver and sell, and
Love it. Love it.
this is where we're going.
I love it. It's the classical business, but using all the new technology and the
Exactly.
disruption and all the way. Amazing. If people want to stay up to date on AudITech and they want to follow you, what's the best way to follow you guys?
LinkedIn, and our website.
Awesome. All right. We'll drop those links below. You can follow AudITech. You'll find that in the description. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you
on the
very
show.
much.